Hi everyone, it's been a while since I last recorded a video, since I last uploaded a video to the channel. Some of you may know, after recording that Boca Juniors video, I went on vacation through the entirety of the holidays. It was a crazy trip. I've been to the US, I've been to Spain, I've been all over the place. If you check my Twitter, you know that I went to the Sevilla game against Valencia. Doesn't matter. I've been really busy and I'm sorry for not uploading any more videos. Ever since I've returned to Buenos Aires, everything's been chaotic around my apartment, and so I have barely had any time to sit down and edit, barely had any motivation, if I'm real with you as well. There's been an event tonight, that has triggered me to have to record something for you guys, so you can hear my thoughts, uncensored thoughts. There's no script, there's no nothing, and it's just me talking to the camera, talking to the microphone, talking to you guys about Boca being eliminated from Copa Libertadores 2025. And you may ask, Rant, but the Copa Libertadores hasn't even started yet. Like, the Copa Libertadores hasn't even started. The draw for the group stage is going to happen on March 17th. How come that Boca are already eliminated from it? Well, if you haven't watched my video on Boca Juniors that I made December last year, my last video on my channel, where I explained the entirety of 2024 for Boca, you may have not noticed that Boca, through the league table, qualified to the preliminary stages of the Copa Libertadores 2025. And it was here in round 2. We had to play 2 home and away games. We had to win both of them to get into the group stage. The first one we play, round 2, against Alianza Lima from Peru, and we're out. Words escape me in this moment, because when I made that video about what 2024 meant for Boca Juniors and for Boca fans, I thought that we could not hit a lower floor. And somehow here we are. The transfer window for Boca was promising. It was promising for once, after so many transfer window where I was like, we've signed so many mid players. None of them make it into the squad, or squad is only getting worse every transfer window. For once I was like, yes, this is what I needed. Ayrton Costa in that center back position from Royal Antwerp, amazing signing, been working wonderfully for us in that position that was left behind by Marcos Rojo, who I'm gonna talk about him later on. Carlos Palacios from Colo Colo, amazing signing, amazing number 10 playmaking midfielder, attacking midfielder, amazing. Alan Velasco from FC Dallas, $10 million for Alan Velasco. Ander Herrera, midfielder from Athletic Bilbao, coming to Boca Juniors to play alongside the likes of Edinson Cavani and Marcos Rojo and Luis Advíncula, and players with a lot of trajectory. William Alarcón, one of the best midfielders in the Argentine league last season. Agustín Marchesín in goal, after Sergio Romero had a fallout with the club last season, and we couldn't rely on Leandro Bray to be our starting goalkeeper because he's only 21, I believe. Agustín Marchesín in goal. Amazing transfer window. Amazing. Fantastic. And for what? What now? Like, Ander Herrera is gonna come to La Bombonera to play against fucking Sarmiento de Junín, to play against San Martín de San Juan, to play against the most random team in the league and in the Argentine Cup, because it's over. It's February and the year is over. No Copa Libertadores. Because we lost in the second round, we don't even qualify for the Copa Sudamericana. We are out of CONMEBOL in February. We're out of CONMEBOL. We only have the league and the Copa Argentina to play for, and it's only February. With all of these signings that we made. Alan Velasco. $10 million. $10 million. I haven't. It's not for this penalty. He's here in like the screen because he missed the decisive penalty in the shootout. It's not because of the penalty. It's not because of the penalty. It's been like what? 10 games already. 10 games already. I haven't seen you done a single thing. A single thing. Not a good pass, not an assist, not a goal, not a good cross, not a dribble. You grab the ball, you either lose it or you pass it backwards. You're out of form. Somebody throws their body at you and you fall to the ground. You cannot run. You're out of form. What for? What are they feeding you? What kind of training are you having? 10 million. It's the second most expensive transfer in Boca's history, only behind Juan Román Riquelme coming back from Villarreal in 2007. We paid as much money for Alan Velasco that we did for Diego Maradona in 1981. Velasco was worth more than Maradona. 10 games, he's not done a single thing. And right now, he gets subbed on to change the game, does absolutely nothing. Takes a decisive penalty, misses. Misses it. But this is not on Alan Velasco. Marcos Rojo. Marcos Rojo, my guy. Captain. You play half the games. The image is fucking gone. Enjoy the scenery of the beautiful city. What the fuck? I'm leaving this in the video. I don't fucking care. Átomo desinflamante, guys. Yeah, that's right. Look at that. Amazing. Oh, you, by the way, you. Yeah, no. Don't worry. Stay there. We're gonna get to you. Don't worry. Shh. We're getting to you. Don't worry. Marcos Rojo, captain of the club. You play half the games. You choose which games you want to play. You're injured half the time, and we don't have another left-footed center back because Ayrton Costa also got injured. By the way, whoever's in the medical staff of Boca Juniors, what a disgrace. Everyone got injured. For the first leg against Alianza Lima, 11 players injured. Our whole starting 11 injured for the first leg against Alianza Lima. Unbelievable. And we go over to Peru, we lose 1-0, playing the most absolutely disgraceful game I've ever seen. We should have lost like 3 or 4-0 in Peru. We were lucky enough to only lose by 1 goal and come here to La Bombonera with hope of turning the game around. We only win by 1 goal because we cannot defend a set piece and because we cannot score the chances we have. Marcos Rojo, big part in that, because you cannot defend a set piece. You cannot defend for your life. You're getting outrun every single time because every game that you play, you're out of form because you're always coming back from injury. Because you're always coming back from not playing so many games. You're always out of form. So how are you supposed to perform if you only play half the games? And those games that you play, you cannot perform because you're out of form. How does that work? You're the captain of the team. Edinson Cavani. What a night Cavani had tonight. Because on top of dropping back, recovering the ball, not being in position like ever, playing the ball fast, losing possession every single time, you're a striker. You choose which games you want to play. You choose them. You select them by hand with your finger. You select, oh, I want to play this game. I don't want to play this game. Oh, I don't feel like playing this game, so I'm going to play this game. I don't want to play on the road, so I'm going to play in La Bombonera where they actually cheer for me. You play half the games as the star-studded striker that you are. And in those games that you play, you cannot put the ball in the back of the net. And I would understand if it was 2023, where you didn't have delivery. 2024, you were banging in so many important goals. You had the chance to score the game-winning tapping in the last ball of the game. You missed the ball. There was an open net. The goal is 2 meters, 15 centimeters tall, and 7 meters wide. It was all open for you. You missed the ball. You missed the ball. You're one of the best strikers of all time. You are one of the goal scorers that hasn't retired yet. One of the active goal scorers with the most goals. You're in the top 10. You cannot score that goal. You cannot score that goal. Okay, fine. Fine. You, Mr. Fernando Gago, coach of Boca Juniors, at the young age of 38. By the way, Hernan Barcos, the guy who scored for Alianza Lima today, is 40. The guy who scored against us from a set piece today is older than you, Mr. Fernando Gago. Why are we playing Merentiel as striker, as a left winger, when our best player, Ezequiel Ceballos, is a left winger? And he's sitting on the bench and didn't even come on in this game. Our best player is a left winger. And instead we decide to play a striker off position as a left winger. And Ezequiel Ceballos doesn't even get to see a cameo. Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? You think you're Pep Guardiola. You're not. You're Fernando Gago. You failed at Aldo Civi. You failed at Racing. You failed at Chivas. You failed at Boca. You've been here for 6 months, 5. You've already failed. You got us eliminated in the second round of the Copa Libertadores against Alianza Lima. Alianza Lima, the team that I spent the entirety of the Copa Libertadores mocking, because up until last year they hadn't won a game in the Copa Libertadores in 13 years. Alianza Lima only has 2 home wins in the Copa Libertadores in the last 13 years. One is against Libertad from Paraguay. The other is against us, against our team in the first leg. You cannot beat one of the worst teams in the history of the Copa Libertadores from the Peruvian League, one of the worst leagues in CONMEBOL, over 2 legs. You're Boca Juniors. You're the biggest club in the entire continent. 6 Copa Libertadores, 3 World Cups. Maradona, Riquelme played in that fucking ground. And you cannot beat Alianza Lima over 2 legs. Marchesín, one of the few guys who can leave La Bombonera with their chins held up high, because that guy over the 2 legs, over the 2 games, like saved our ass completely. And the reward that he gets for it is getting subbed out right before the penalty shootout, because we trusted Leandro Bray to save a penalty. I'm not going to pin the blame on Bray because he's a little kid from the club who got subbed into a terrible situation under a lot of pressure, and he's an amazing penalty stopper, but he couldn't cut it today because it's just not possible in that circumstance. And now the bigger problem, because I've been talking about the players that we signed, I've been talking about the players that we signed before, like Cavani, like Rojo, I've been talking about the manager, but Boca is not shit since today. Boca is not shit since last year where I made that video. Boca is not shit since the year before that where I made another video. Boca is not shit. Boca has been shit for the past 8 years. I made a whole video about how we failed to win the Copa Libertadores for so long. Because I'm sure, I don't know what's going on in the press conference. I don't know if Gago is going to resign, if someone's head is getting chopped off, if we're bringing the guillotine like it's the French Revolution. I don't know what's going on right now. I just, the game ended, I press record, boom. When are we going to stop sacking managers and the people who are actually responsible for running the club are going to get accounted for? Juan Román Riquelme, I know you were vice president from 2020 to 2024. You were in charge of the football. And now you're the president of the club. It's your job to make things work in Boca Juniors Football Club. You never give the tools. You're scouting awful. I praised this transfer window. We needed a goalkeeper. You brought Marchesín. We needed a center back. You brought Ayrton Costa. I would have preferred someone else because Ayrton Costa gets injured and now we're left with Marcos Rojo. We played with Di Lolo. My God, Di Lolo. When Figal recovers from injury, he's gonna be back. When Lema recovers from injury, he's gonna be back, and they're both shit. We need another center back. We have 6 fullbacks, and none of them work. Advíncula, one game may be good, one game may be shit. Blondell is injured every single time. Barinaga is the most limited player I've seen in so long. Fabra cannot play for the club anymore. Blanco is absolutely out of form. He could not land a cross for his life today. Sarachi is kinda decent. In June, Boca is gonna play at the Club World Cup, and we're going with a kinda decent left back. For CONMEBOL level. We could not beat Alianza Lima. We're gonna beat Bayern. Yeah, sure. I'm so excited to see Hurricane, Musiala, Sane against this Boca's defense. This midfield that has Milton Delgado, one of the best players on the pitch today. Saw him at the pre-Olympic tournament with Argentina at the South American Championship. Amazing performance today. After that, like, Ander Herrera, hello? Hello? Okay. Like, we need another CDM, we need another center back, we need another any decent fullback. The strikers, none of them are working. Merentiel is as dry as the Atacama Desert. Cavani, the less I say the better. Milton Jimenez has been super dry as well. Alan Velasco, like, what the fuck? The scouting is awful. We're paying for players that are out of form. And the squad only seems to be getting worse every single time. Gago is an awful manager. This was the best idea you had after you sacked Diego Martinez last year? Bring Gago in just because, oh, he's someone from the club. He knows the club in and out. He's a manager, so he has to do well. There's no plan. Riquelme has no plan. He's never had a plan. He's so often misunderstood the role of a manager. Miguel Angel Russo, when he first started, was the only real manager that we had. After that, it's been successor after successor after successor of managers with no experience, who are just big names, but with no experienced manager, and who are like awful managers. Because when Riquelme played, he was used to playing out of instinct and not listening necessarily to what the coach was saying. Riquelme couldn't be coached. Riquelme, when he was a player, he played as a number 10. He did whatever he wanted. No coach could tell him what to do. So now, when he's the president of the club, he thinks that a good coach is not necessary, that you only need players. And still we sign like awful players. But a project. Sign players for the long term. Sign a manager. A good manager with experience. Someone who can raise their voice in the dressing room and be heard. A good manager for the long term. For a project. Not as a band-aid solution. We're putting band-aids over band-aids over band-aids for years. And this is the result. You cannot see it because there's a beautiful city right now. I believe is that New York? I don't even care. There's no project. And so, is Gago gonna get sacked? I wouldn't mind, honestly. He's awful. But when is someone from the board gonna pay for what the fans are enduring? The fans that packed La Bombonera and were screaming the entire game and were chanting the entire game. When is someone from the board gonna pay? When is Cassini getting sacked as sports director? When is Chicho Serna getting sacked as our scouting director? When is Riquelme gonna come out and actually say something that looks like, I don't know, some kind of regret, some kind of internal thought of maybe I did something wrong, some kind of remorse, some kind of my bad, some kind of apology? When is he gonna stop being so cocky? When is he gonna stop having such a huge head? And talking about, oh, we're doing all the things right. Talking about how Boca is doing great in all these other areas. You guys know that Boca is currently in the final of women's football, and that we're the reigning champions in the basketball league and in the hockey league, the female hockey league. Don't forget the female hockey league. We're the biggest football club in the continent. I could not care less. But that's what the president cares about. Diverting your attention from what's wrong, telling you everything that he's done right, because he cannot admit that he's made a fucking single mistake. Not a single thing he's done wrong. Boca is out of the Copa Libertadores 2025. That's basically all I had to say. We lost to a team from the Peruvian League, one of the worst teams in Copa Libertadores history. We're not going to be playing in Copa Libertadores, obviously. We're not going to be playing in Copa Sudamericana either, like last year. We're not going to be playing for anything. We're going to be playing for the league and the Copa Argentina. It's February. The year is already over. We have so many signings that are going to the absolute trash bin. So many players that cannot put the Boca shirt anymore. Gago is not going to be able to show his face ever in Boca ever again. So many players that just need to go. The coach has to go. So many people at the board finally have to pay. But will they? I don't know. Anyway, it's been a long rant. I'm sorry for that. My apologies for not posting a video in so long. But I hope that seeing me angry has made it worthwhile and entertaining to you guys. Hopefully I'll start editing and I'll come up with a more produced video like you guys deserved. I hope that you stay safe out there. I'll try my best not to jump off the window. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. Fuck you, Riquelme. I'm done with Boca Juniors for the rest of the year. There's nothing left to play for. Have a good night, and I'll see you all next time.